Hello, millionaires. Welcome to the Millionaire Money Podcast, episode 12. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can take back your financial power, even if you have ignored and put yourself last for years. Stay tuned. All right, family, I am so amped for the conversation that we are about to have today, guys. Today, we're going to be talking, like I said, about how you are able to really reclaim your financial power, even if you have given it up over and over and over the years. And why are we talking about this? Because this is one of the foundational principles to getting your first or $100th million. Like, so many of us are taught that being a good, nice person means not speaking up for the things that you're supposed to be doing, building on your own. So you have a lot of people who are building everybody else's stuff, but they're not taking time to actually focus on themselves, on their families. And so they and their families are suffering while they're creating for everyone else. And you know, it's so funny because some of us, we've gotten into this mentality so much that if I asked you today, what do you want? I know some of you know what you want. You say, Toyin, you're asking me what do I want? Let me tell you what I want. I want these 2, 3, 4, 5. You have your list. But many of you guys, if I were to truly, deeply ask you, like, what do you desire? What do you want? What are you wanting to build? What are you wanting to create? What impact are you wanting to have? Most people have a very, very, very vague idea because they haven't even had time to think about that. They haven't had time to think about themselves. They're so busy taking care of absolutely everybody else. And the first thing that I just want to say out the gate today, guys, is this is not a complacent, like, you weren't put on this planet to be complacent. The people who do not have a target for their own life, your life will be dictated by somebody else's target. Your life will be determined. Your outcomes will come under other people's determination. Now, am I saying that you can't cooperate with people? You can't work together to create something phenomenal? Absolutely not. In fact, when you understand the stuff that I'm about to talk about in this podcast, you'll start to realize that when you begin to understand yourself and know where it is you've been called to shine and move and do, like, you all of a sudden will start getting connected with the people who are complementary to what it is that you're trying to create. The people who say, oh my gosh, your space misses my spokes, meets my spokes, and my spokes meets your spaces. I don't know. Some of you guys will get spokes and spaces. Some of you will not get it. A friend of mine used to say it back in the day. But the main thing I want to say is a lot of us have grown up with this way of thinking like we need other people's permission to shine. So we only go as far as this. Like, we only go until people start getting uncomfortable with your growth, with your financial success, with this and this. You only go so far, and then you start like, okay, I need to calm myself down. Doesn't need to be like that. You know, blah, blah, blah. You start to hide. And then the other piece of this is many of us, like, we feel like all these people have actually taken away our power. So you look through your past, and some of you guys have been through a divorce, or maybe you grew up in a household that was abusive. Maybe you went through just disappointments and betrayals and different things that caused you to begin to feel like you couldn't fully make decisions for yourself and from yourself, you know, and some of us grew up in these dependent relationships or dependent environments. And the one thing that I want to say, guys, right here is we can't go back in time, right? So we can't go back and change the way, the environment that you had growing up. We can't change some of those disappointments that you've experienced. But the truth is, if you are going to live outside of your past, if you are not just going to live your life still under that divorce, for example, or still under that person that disappointed you, if you are ever going to live free of that, you need to learn how to reclaim your power. You need to learn how to take back your financial future. You need to learn how to be willing to fight for number one. You have to learn it, because the truth is, if you don't get this, you become stuck, because your brain thinks, I have to, like, there's no other way. Look at that person. Your brain begins to think in these ways, right? That person must have had a different upbringing. Oh, that person's lucky because, she got to have her mom in the house and I didn't grow up with my mom. That person's lucky because they must have got some sort of like their parents saved something up for them to be able to build what they have today. That person's lucky. So we literally make these whack excuses for why everyone else can shift, everyone else can get a breakthrough, everyone else can create, but not me. And I've seen this happen. Like, if you guys have tracked with us on Facebook, you know that in Facebook, I have hundreds of testimonials, video after video after video, with clients from every different walk of life that you can imagine. So married, single, parents, not parents, students, like just literally everything you can imagine, okay? And we do these videos, every culture, every race, all of these things. And I always still get people who will say, yeah, I know you helped that person who, is from where I'm from and looks like I do, but that person must have had it better, because they were able to shift. So they must have had like a better upbringing or a better this. So we literally, even when we see in the mirror people who show us it is possible, even when we see in the mirror, I see some people who will say, well, I can't build because of my race. I can't build because, people like me, we just don't even get a chance. And I'm like, yo, look around you. Look around you. How many people are building? But anyway, let me not get too far ahead of myself. If you don't get this, your self-worth becomes dependent on other people's opinions. So your self-worth becomes dependent on what they feel today. And here is where that is a scary reality, y'all. Because people are fickle. Y'all heard me? Fickle. People are fickle. Every human being, today they like you, tomorrow they don't like you. It's just how it is. So you have all of us, like so many people, especially with the social media culture that we live in, like we're surrounded by it, we're imbibed in it. And it's like we're trying to impress people. We're trying to live up to people's opinions. We're trying to put up the highlight reel. And what you don't understand is whether you like it or not, if you actually build a place of success, you will have haters. I have haters. Have I done anything to them? No, I've not done anything to them. But why are they angry? Some people are angry because I tell people, stop giving me an excuse. You can change your life. How dare you say you can change your life, Toyin? Don't you understand? So no matter what you say, you will have haters. But you find that when you don't allow yourself to reclaim your financial power, the fear of what they will think, what they will say, will literally keep you building until you keep hitting this ceiling and you never let yourself go past it, because deep down inside, you can front all you want. You can put up I don't care, kind of whatever. But at the end of the day, you can't beat your own subconscious fear unless you look at it, unless you actually uproot and deal with it. And then here's what also begins to happen is not only is your self-worth now dependent on people's opinions, but you actually start making choices by what they are saying. You allow other people to make your choices on your behalf. And what does that do? It keeps you as a victim. And so now it's easy, in quotation, y'all are hearing me if y'all are listening to the audio version, I put my little quotation on that. It's easy because you're able to blame, right? If it doesn't work, well, they're the ones who said I should do that. Well, that person wouldn't let me step out in my dream. Well, that person said this and this and this to me back then. Like, if you live in this place, you will always have someone to blame. It's great. It's wonderful. You never have to take responsibility for yourself. But here's what that leads to. You never actually get to live your dream. And now there's many different reasons why we don't try to walk in the power and the authority that God has given to a lot of you guys, to each one of us. One, because we have this mentality that being powerful means that you're unapproachable. Like if the powerful people are mean people or negative people. And I was talking to someone recently and they heard power and they're like, I don't like the word power. And I'm like, yeah, but guess what? When people with the wrong intentions have power, because whether you like power, you don't like power, people have power. Right? Right. Okay. So if you're out here and you're trying to save lives by taking them out of human trafficking, or you're trying to save lives by helping orphanages, building orphanages and all these things, and you're like, well, I don't want to hear about power and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? There are still going to be people on this planet who have power, and some of them will use that power to pull people into human trafficking. And so why am I saying this? I'm saying this because this belief that being powerful has to be a negative thing, has to have a negative connotation. Like it means that you're uppity, you're this, you're proud. It's not necessarily the truth. Are there people who have power who are proud? Yes. But are there times when we see people who know who they are, who are confident in what they've been created to do and who they have been created as, and do we interpret that as pride? Yes. Meanwhile, that person is minding their own business, staying in their own lane, and actually doing the work that God put them on this planet to do. Another thing that a lot of people think about this conversation is like, well, I'm not a business owner, or I'm a business owner, but I'm not the leader in my industry, or these thoughts of like only leaders and bosses and people in authority have power. And the truth is not true. Like many of you guys may have heard about the book by John Maxwell. I don't know if what the title of it is, but it's like Lead from the Center. And it's essentially like, you can be a leader, you can have confidence, you can have power, you can reclaim your financial future without anybody's permission, whether or not you are a CEO, whether or not you answer to someone or you don't answer to someone. Or people will tell me sometimes, well, Toyin, it's easy for you to reclaim your financial power because you're an extrovert. Guys, I have seen the people who are shy, introverted, learn who they are and finally live like they've never imagined themselves living before, making decisions for themselves, for their families, that they're just like, whoa, like, is this me? Is this me? Because it looks like me in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has to look the same, and power doesn't have one face. I'm going to say that again for the ones who missed it. I'm saying it again for the people in the back. Power doesn't have one face. It doesn't have one personality. Some of the most powerful people are the calmest people I know. And y'all know me. I'm hyper. I love being hyper. This is the way God has made me. I'm down with it. I have fun with it. And I know who I am. I'm not shy about it. And at the same time, I know some people who are like absolutely opposite to me. Two of our coaches in my business on our team are like the coolest, calmest people you could imagine. Just calm. They're just calm like that. And you see the calmness, and you can mistake that for a lack of authority or a lack of power or a lack of knowing until they open their mouths. I remember one of our clients she came through our program and like, I'm like this, right? So I'm like, la, 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 my hyper self, and one of our coaches, super calm, and she was like, okay, let me go, and I'm gonna get coached by her, all right. By the end of the program, she was like, yo, this woman had my life. And I just laughed because I'm like, extrovertedness or introvertedness doesn't determine someone's ability to transform and to be themselves and to walk in their power. And it's so funny because often people will see like Coach Taryn on our team and they're just like, yeah, she's so calm. And then they hear her speak and they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I got it. I'm sitting up, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm listening. And then the thing is, guys, if you don't get this, like I remember one of our clients had been in this cycle of just nothing working. Nothing working. Nothing working. So like, y'all know those seasons in life where it feels like every single thing is crumbling. So his work wasn't working. The pay was going lower and lower. It wasn't a set amount. And they were finding all these reasons to give him less and less and less. And he felt like he was failing the family. He felt like he was just losing control of everything. And I remember he came in, and one of the biggest things that happened was he realized that he had been stuck in this belief that he wasn't good enough anyway. And that was because he was just in this environment where that's what he heard all the time. So because he heard it over and over and over again, for years, he had given his power away. And so he's in this job that is absolutely not valuing him. And just everyone and everything around him was just like, nah, like just pushing him down and just feeling left behind and feeling stuck. And it was so interesting watching him walk through that money mindset shift process where before the money, before the finance, he learned and like reclaimed his power, reclaimed who he is, what he was created to do. And I just remember how many different times he was like, oh my gosh, this is who I am. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot this. And I can't believe I forgot that. And I even forgot the dreams that I used to have. And like all of these changes started happening on the inside of him. And then as he came into that awareness of who he really is, of course, the physical situation had to go and catch up with him. So yes, he ends up getting the much better position, paid a salary, like just all these things started happening for him. And other people can look in his life and be like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. You just got so lucky. You know, things just look like it's just happening for you. And I'm like, no, he did the work of looking in the mirror and acknowledging what had held him back from stepping in that and forgiving and releasing all of the things and all of the people and all of the sentences and the words that had been spoken over him. And that's what I want to say, guys. For many of you, because of the words that have been spoken, because of the things that people have done, you have held back your power. And there's this feeling of resentment and frustration that you can have around them. And I'm saying the longer you don't choose to reclaim your power, because you can't hold resentment and freedom at the same time, right? It's just true. You can't be free while being able to carry them in this blame space. So if you are looking at your life and you're like, well, it doesn't look like what I want. It looks like the stuff that everyone else said that I was going to be. Then maybe you need to learn how to let go of those people and those words and those things and retrain your brain on what it is you desire. And your brain is literally a muscle. Your subconscious is literally like it is able to relearn, but it can't just relearn because you say it 50 times. And I see some of y'all, like you want to do affirmations and you're saying affirmations over and over and over and over again, but you're not dealing with the root issue, guys. And it's great. I think it's wonderful to do affirmations. Everybody's talking about affirmations. But here's the thing, y'all. Affirmations will not give you a breakthrough if you don't deal with the limiting beliefs that have been planted by your experiences, by those influences. If you don't get to the root of the issue, you can say with your mouth for 30 days in a row, I'm going to earn $50,000, $100,000, $5,000, $500,000 a month. You can say it, but it doesn't mean it's actually going to happen because it's just talk. It's just talk, y'all. You need to have that, but that comes after you uproot the stuff that has been planted in your heart and in your subconscious that has stolen your power. And so what do you need to do? You need to be able to get to the root of it. You need to be able to identify what are the limiting beliefs that have been implanted for me based on the experiences, the disappointments, and all of these things that have been created in my life. In what areas of my life am I still living under those experiences? Am I still living under that stress and that frustration? And then how has it affected my finances? Here's one of the things I've realized, y'all. Finances is often a clue to what's really happening on the inside. If you are a business owner and you're tracking with our podcast, and first of all, shout out to all of y'all. Thank you guys so much for sharing this podcast. The word is spreading literally globally. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. But if you are a business owner and you're running with us, you can't afford to keep these beliefs in your mind, because you don't get paid per hour. You don't get paid just to show up. You get paid for whatever it is that's inside of you. Like, you are a mirror in business. That's the truth. So you don't have to accept the fact that you're stuck, but you also have to take action. You have to take action. You have to make a decision about what is it that I want? What is holding me back? What are the patterns that are coming up for me that are a clue, a sign? Hey, it's not working. And when you see that, what do I need to do to shift it? And so there's two things I want to say. I'm going to tell you what you can do to shift it, but I also want to let you guys know, for those of you who didn't listen to last week's podcast, there's something coming up in this month of January. So just hold up one second. First of all, for those of you guys who are listening to this and you're saying, I'm ready to take back my power. Like, I refuse to leave 2022 with the same junk that I brought into this year. I am ready to start creating a new reality that reflects what I see for the calling of God on my life. If you are that person, then I want you to go to moneymindsetShift.ca/call. Like, call me. moneymindsetShift.ca/call. And there are 3 things that we are going to do. You're going to book a free breakthrough session with a member of my team. And 3 things we're going to help you do. 1, we're going to help you to figure out what exactly is causing you to be stuck in this pattern, in this cycle, y'all. What are the limiting mindsets and beliefs that have been creating this reality for you? What are those experiences that have been holding you back? And then once we identify your top 3 limiting beliefs, then we are going to show you exactly how to shift it. And once we do that, then we actually help you to create a financial freedom plan that allows you to step into all the other areas of your life where you want to be able to rest and have fun and do whatever it is that you were put on this planet to do. And so I want to invite those of you that are listening to this that are saying, you know what? For so long, I have fought for everyone else and nobody has fought for me. For so long, I have been doing everything for everyone, going helter, as my people will say, going helter-skelter, and running around, this, that, and not sitting down to say, look, what am I creating? And it's not just that, guys. Here's the second piece of this. If you don't know how to take care of yourself, how are you going to help the people that you're wanting to help? Many of us are givers. Many of us we love to pour into others. We love to take care of others, and it's a good thing. But if you can't figure out how to bring yourself to a place of abundance, how are you going to teach your children to do that, or your nieces, your nephews, your parents to do that? And guys, I want to say this. It's not enough to talk the talk. So many people, it's like, let me teach you how to build wealth. I got to tell you, people, we've been doing this for 8 years. There's like 7,000 new financial coaches in the last year because they invested in 2021 and the stocks went up. And now all of a sudden they want to teach you how to build generational wealth. And so many people, like, it's just a cycle. You have one good year and now you are like, oh, let me teach you how to do it, but then it's not sustainable. And the thing is, the people in your life, they see through the facade. You can't put up a facade of like, okay, one right decision, now I've become the expert. It doesn't work that way. You need to learn how to create a place of consistent financial abundance out of which you are able to teach and share and give to everyone else that you're wanting to give to. So I'm not saying it's impossible to do it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. You should. But it's better to be lived than just spoken. When you get to that place of living, your whole life becomes a story of how to build. The reason I started this podcast is because our life is showing it. And it's not just been 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We started from the bottom, right? Y'all know our story. We did not have a place to live, technically homeless, except we weren't on the streets because we were squatting with a bunch of different people. We did not have food to eat, like boom, 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 boom. You guys know our journey. And so I'm not here to tell you that you can't share out of your experience, but what I'm saying is you need to learn how to build a place of consistent abundance. And then talk out of that place. Let your life talk, not your mouth. In this case now, I'm doing this podcast, but I'm like, let my life be louder than the podcast, y'all. And my friends know it, my clients know it. Like, it's bigger than this podcast. It is much bigger than this podcast. All right, so if you're listening to this and you know I am ready to create a life of consistent abundance where I am walking in the power that God has given to me, go to moneymindset.ca/call. moneymindsetShift.ca/call. Now, I just want to say this, y'all. Once a year, every year. So you guys have been tracking with me here on the podcast, but once a year, every year, we actually have a boot camp. It's a one-day boot camp where we are going to be going over the expectation and just how to set up your 2022 for success. I don't do this thing often. It is once a year, a free training. And I'm going to tell you guys, last year, 200 people couldn't get inside the room. 200 people were locked out because we hit capacity. So I just want to say it's going to be happening January 29th, okay, 12 p.m. sharp, 12 p.m. Eastern. It's called the 2022 $1 Million Results Boot Camp, and we are going to be going in, and I'm going to be giving y'all real life training. Like, I can't do full trainings on a podcast because podcasts you're supposed to talk a little bit lightly and whatever. When we get in that room, y'all, you better come with a pen and paper because we are not going to be playing. Okay? And we're going to be having a conversation around how do you make sure you leave this year with multi-million-dollar results and not just stories, people, things, excuses, situations, circumstances. All right, y'all, do not let yourself be one of the people that are outside the door wondering what the heck are they talking about. Y'all, this is not a marketing gimmick. We're not going to be sending out a replay. It is a live event only. And if you want to attend the event, so book your call, moneymindsetShift.ca/call. And you can also book to attend the events that we're having. So it's moneymindsetShift.ca/2022 results. So like the year 2022 results with an S on the end. Y'all, I am beyond amped about what we're going to be creating this year, not just on this podcast, but in our community, in our environment. There's so many people that are building, that are buying their first homes, multiple homes. One of our clients just recently is closing on, I think this is her first real estate investment property. She just told me last night. And it's like, there's just so much happening, and we're so ready, y'all, for you guys to be able to step into the things you've been talking about for years and years and years. Don't let this be the year that you come out with stories. Let this be the year that you come out with results. moneymindsetShift.ca/2022 results. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hey millionaires, thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you want to subscribe, there's a little picture of me right here. Click on that. And if you want to have a free financial breakthrough session with my team, then you can go on ahead and click on the button right here or visit moneymindsetShift.ca/call. I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye-bye.